start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
It took 11 innings, but the Houston Astros evened up their series with the Toronto Blue Jays with a 9-7 win yesterday afternoon. The game was tied up at 6 apiece in the top of the 11th when Joey Loperfido sent a 3-run homer over the right field wall to push the Astros over the line. The rubber match of the series will be today, and it'll be Mike Burrows on the mound for Houston opposite of Trey Savage for Toronto. First pitch is at 6:07 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. The 2026 FIFA World Cup ramps up today with 6 matches headlined by host nations Canada and Mexico playing their last group stage matches of the tournament. At 2 p.m., Canada will face Switzerland, and at 8 p.m. tonight, Mexico will take on the Czech Republic. Also in the World Cup yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo made history in Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan as the only player ever to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments. In Eunice, Lane Finsky was named the NJCAA National Pitcher of the Year for his efforts with LSUE this past season. Finsky posted a 3.19 ERA across 93 innings with 98 strikeouts and 28 walks to go with his 15-0 record this season, a total that ties the LSUE all-time single-season win mark for a pitcher. With the first pick in last night's 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards selected forward A.J. Debansa out of BYU. Debansa is only the 3rd #1 overall pick in Wizards history with John Wall and Kwame Brown. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome into Footnotes. You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station. You can give us a call in about a half hour in the ESPN hotline, 706-011. We haven't had as many interviews because it's weird. It's like it's been a pretty packed summer. We haven't, things are calming down in terms of events that we cover, but it's been pretty packed. So we're going to have our weekly conversation with Dawson in the second hour. In the first hour, I decided to talk to our old friend Danny Broussard, St. Thomas More basketball coach, because several of the players that were drafted in the first round last night, he coached in the McDonald's All-Star game. last year.
Add it to his list of accolades.
And so I just wanted to – it had to be kind of cool for him to see the draft because he knows some of these guys personally. He coached them in the game. So I thought it'd be interesting to get his perspective on that and maybe what he saw out of them. And, we did that after he coached, but, though they're just names then. They haven't gone to college yet and did everything they did and then got drafted in the first round. And so now it's a little different. So we'll do that in the next segment. In about 12 minutes or so, we'll chat with Danny and get caught up with him. And I know he's been busy doing his basketball camps that he does every summer. And yet I'm sure that was just a unique – I don't know how much he's ever paid attention to the NBA draft, a whole lot. Because, years ago, the NBA draft, it was what it was. I mean, if you had guys like Jordan in the Ewing and all that, you had big drafts. And obviously around here with Zion, there were – but, I don't know. It's just a totally different, unique perspective for him looking at the draft. So we'll catch up with Danny on that. And, again, we're broadcasting live from the Bill and Abear Studios in Upper Lafayette. Bill and Abear, Acadiana's hometown attorneys. And I'm going to say it on this glorious Wednesday morning. Baseball is so many things. It can make you hate sports. It can be so, especially if your team is, goes through one of these June swoons. You get off to a great start and you get into June and you start like the Rays are encountering right now, and the Cubs went through it, and that's big picture. In an individual game, it's like the Yankees had a series. I think I saw this past weekend where they went like 0 for 26 with runners in scoring position or something crazy like that. And it can be so infuriating. And the Astros had one of those infuriating games yesterday, and yet they got bailed out by a Joey Loperfido 3-run homer in the 11th inning. And understand that Loperfido hadn't hit a home run this season. And I came into, for those who don't know him, he's a guy the Astros had. They traded him to the Blue Jays, and then they traded back for him. So this is his second stint with the Astros. And he hadn't done a whole lot, really. And a couple weeks ago, I was like, why? I understand that they picked up Lamont Wade, okay. And Lamont did okay for a few games, and he got hurt like Astros tend to do. But I'm like, why are they so down on Joey Loperfido? Well, right after I said that, he went through 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever the time was, of just being horrible. I mean, horrible. And doing nothing. All he does is ground to short and ground into double plays. Like, he strikes out or ground into double plays. That's all he does. So it's a latest example of it's been working. I do this some out of anger and some with a little strategy in mind. When I rebuke guys for a little while, usually they respond. Not always, but usually they respond. Like I rebuked Altuve for a while, and Altuve actually is hitting really well all of a sudden. Just boom, it just flips. So he responded to the rebuking and my long-term concerns about him. Right before that, I was really getting on Pena because Pena's played terrible for most of this season. When he's played, I mean, he was hurt for a while, and then Pena's actually been playing better lately, so he responded to the rebuking. And then most recently, I've been commenting about how awful Joey Loperfido looks, and he had an at-bat earlier in the game where he didn't get it done, and then what a strange inning. In the ninth inning, the Astros are up 4-0. They hit back-to-back-to-back home runs to go up 4-0, and then they blew it. And then they gave up a 2-run single in the bottom of the eighth to go down 6-4. Why? Because their pitcher can't throw to first base. Why is that so difficult? Please explain it to me.
It's got to just be you're so in that rhythm and that motion of, giving it everything 100% as you throw home that when you have to slow it down to go to first, it's just a different angle, it's a different look, and it throws so many guys off.
Right. If you can't do it, then roll the ball to second base.
Or run.
Like, just bowl. Do they not know how to bowl? Like, it would look awful, but if you can't throw the ball to first base on a comebacker, just roll it.
Look, I agree, or try to run it to him, but it's incredible how many guys, it's like the yips. How many guys that gets where they just can't make the throw to first.
He had a terrible inning, but all he has to do is throw the ball to first base on a little bitty dribbler right to the mound, and they don't score a run.
Yeah, there's got to be a deeper science to it than this because it has bit so many pitchers.
Defense is so underrated. So anyway, they give him 2 runs because former Blue Jay Nate Pearson can't throw the ball to first base. He's in the major leagues. Throw the ball to first base. And so I'm thinking, well, they've blown this game. So in the bottom of the 9th inning, they score a run. Well, they get a bases loaded. Well, first of all, getting the bases loaded is nothing. It's not much of a scoring opportunity for the Astros because they can't get the ball at the infield with a runner in third and less than 2 outs. I've been complaining about that for weeks now. Early on, they did a good job, but lately they've just been horrible at it. So Loperfido comes up, and they score a run on catcher's interference. You don't see that often.
No, you don't.
I'm like, thank you. And then Cam Smith gets a sac fly, which, again, Coach Deggs and I joke with each other all the time. And he has this theory, and I get it. Sac flies can be rally killers. But when you're down by 1 in the 9th, they're not rally killers.
Yeah.
Like, you need that run.
Depends on the setting.
Yeah, and so Cam got a sac fly, which he had a home run earlier in the game. It was good. Anytime this outfield, which is just the worst in the major leagues offensively for sure. I don't think it's the worst defensively by any means, but offensively it's the worst outfield in the major leagues by far. Anytime they get any offensive production from this outfield, you take it. And so they tied the game. Now, they could have got a little more. Pena had a batted bat, swung early in the count, hit to second base. They didn't take the lead. So they don't score in the 10th because they have a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And if you're an Astro, then your job is to strike out with a runner at third with less than 2 outs. That's your job.
Yeah, not good odds.
Apparently. Apparently that's your job. So they got the runner to third with less than 2 outs in the 10th and didn't score. In the 11th, they walk El Perro Grande, which I don't blame him. And Christian Walker choked again. By the way, Christian Walker's next on the list.
He's next
to
on
be
rebuking.
rebuked. Yeah, I will start rebuking him repeatedly, and hopefully he will respond. I like him, but he has just been dreadful, and they have got to – I talked about it yesterday. They have got to take him out of the 3-hole. Right now, this is what should happen. Pena, if he's healthy, needs to hit leadoff. Altuve needs to hit second. El Perro Grande needs to hit third. Because Altuve is actually – he's had a great series offensively. Like, when he's swinging it like Altuve, it's silly to hit him. Just put him in a 2-hole, put El Perro Grande in a 3-hole. Christian Walker is a 5 or 6 hole hitter. That's what he is, and that's where he needs to be hitting. All right. So in the 11th, they have runners on first and second and no outs, and then guess what happens? Do they advance the base runner? No, because you can't advance base runners in extra innings. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to advance a base runner in extra innings? It's better to strike out. And so they had runners on first and second and 2 outs now. And Joey Loperfido's got a 1-2 count on him. It seemed like he ain't got a hit in 3 weeks. And he hits a 3-run.
Baseball.
And he has 0 homers on the season.
Yeah,
0.
Baseball. Look at Oklahoma baseball. They've 30 home runs in the past 2 weeks.
It's just unbelievable.
It's a weird game.
And I was so grateful and so thankful. And look, people think I hate home runs. I think home runs are it's almost like cheating to me. It's kind of like, I'm trying to come up with an analogy of what I think of a home run as. It's kind of like you have a kid and he needs to make $50 to go to camp or whatever, or to buy some video game or whatever he wants.
Okay.
And you would prefer him, as a parent, to learn to work.
Earn it.
And earn it
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah.
Right? And then get to $50 and then have some pride and pay it and get it. Well, or his grandparent could just give him the $50 and he slough all weekend and get nothing. Home run is your grandparent gave you $50. You didn't have to earn anything. You took the easy way out to score.
Well, you still,
that's how I look at a home run.
You still have to hit the ball out of the park, which a lot of people have never been able to do.
You still got the $50, but you just...
it's more like getting the wild card.
That's kind of how I look at home runs. It's kind of the easy way out.
It's like getting the wild card.
Earn it.
Yeah, it's like getting the wild card in Uno.
Yes. That's a good one. It's like getting a wild... Yeah, that's a good one, which I very rarely do, like on Phase 10 and all these... I mean, wild cards
Respect the game.
often come... Yeah. And so... I like to see my team earn it, okay? Just like I would prefer to see my kid earn it.
Yeah.
But there's times when you don't have to, you know that you're not really capable of earning it, so let's do it the easy way.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Hey, it worked.
Yes.
Joey Loperfido.
Of course, they had no pitching left, so they're pitching this cat Van Way, who they just called back up, and they keep going back and down. And he had already thrown the 10th, so he has to throw the 11th, too, because they have no pitchers left, because we all believe that Abreu is on the restricted list because he's got visa issues and they're playing in Canada. Can we just make Toronto part of the country during baseball season?
Well,
I mean, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump from Niagara Falls.
That has been a conversation in the political sphere for certain.
Anyway, it was a glorious win, and there's a lot of other things that happened in Major League Baseball. I said yesterday it's a very interesting day, and there were some interesting things, but we don't have time to get to that. For now, we'll take a timeout, and we will get to Danny Broussard next. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Regional homes of Opelousas and ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles want to help you celebrate America's 250th birthday. We're giving you a chance to win 250th anniversary of American Flag and Flagpole Kit. Listen on air starting Monday for the American Trivia question, and you could be one of our lucky winners. So tune in next week for our special giveaway. Salute and happy 250th birthday, America.
From Tiger Stadium to the Texas state line, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for live and local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana. We're your official home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles also tackles the latest involving the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, McNeese Cowboys, and New Orleans Saints. So keep it locked right here. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Acadiana Legal Services Corporation provides free access to legal services. Their work spans across Louisiana. They're committed to helping eligible individuals navigate legal challenges from family law to public benefits. Their team delivers reliable, high-quality representation. Acadiana Legal Services provides comprehensive benefits and a supportive work environment. Join a team that makes a difference in the lives of people. Apply today at la-law.org/careers or careers@la-law.org.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
Looking for a spotless workplace Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Not with Black & Gold Tax Service in your corner. Conveniently located on Main Street in Broussard, we offer in-office appointments and virtual consultations. You can upload your documents to our secured portal, and we offer secure digital drop-offs. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we proudly serve South Louisiana and all 50 states with integrity, expertise, and personalized care. Visit blackandgoldtax.com and let Black & Gold Tax Service make taxes easy. Black & Gold Tax Service, where accuracy meets Acadiana pride.
Looking for a great deal on golf this summer? Head to Farm to Alley Golf Course for the Sizzlin' Summer Special. Every Tuesday through Thursday, tee off anytime between noon and 3:30 and enjoy 18 holes of championship golf, including a cart for just $55. That's unbeatable summer golf at an unbeatable price. Gather your friends, sharpen your game, and make the most of your afternoons at Farm to Alley Golf Course. Book your tee time today and take advantage of the Sizzlin' Summer Special, only at Farm to Alley.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Welcome back. All right. Well, we're always looking for a good opportunity to talk to our old friend Danny Broussard, and this was a really good opportunity. How are you, sir?
Wait, did I hear that correct? You said old? You said old friend? Is that right?
Well, we're still friends, but we're both old. So I guess, I don't know.
we are growing old. Captain.
Yes.
We are growing
that
old.
just means we've been friends for a long time. That's the way
yes. Yep,
all right. So
correct.
did you get a chance to watch the draft last night?
I watched the whole thing. I recorded some of it. I watched the whole thing. Kevin, what's funny is, so, when obviously most people know, but in case we have some listeners that don't, I coached this McDonald's All-American game last year, and these guys were all, they were seniors in high school. This year they were freshmen in college. So obviously I had a special interest because I knew those guys were going to be drafted. And what was kind of funny was my two grandsons came with me to New York when we went. And Kevin, I kind of, I don't know what made me think about this. I said, it'd kind of be kind of cool if I got these guys, if I got their autographs,
Yes.
And took pictures with them. Yeah, I took pictures with them. So what we did was, in the hotel, my grandsons took pictures with every one of my roster players, and so that's kind of cool. So and I made them a little scrapbook, and I know I told you this story before, but it was kind of funny, Kevin, that. I'm very bad with names. Like, you remember every number every player's ever had, but I'm bad with names. I'm terrible. And I didn't want to go into this All-Star game not like, being embarrassed about not knowing these kids' names,
Right.
So I made my manager print out. So we printed out these pictures. Today on social media, you can get them all,
Right.
And as a matter of fact, what was kind of cool was each one of these kids did a McDonald's photo. So I had them with, McDonald's background, and I made them put their names on it. So that way I could study them. And trust me, I studied for 3 weeks, almost a month. As soon as my season ended, I would take two guys at a time and just memorize those two. So Kevin, the point when we got to the very first meeting, I told these guys, I said, guys, if Nick and Wesley and Ryan were with me, and I said, my two assistants know very well, I'm terrible with names. I can't remember sometimes my own team names. So I said, I've been trying, I've been studying, and so let's see if I can get this right. And I went down the list, and Kevin, I had one left, and I was in a panic mode. I was like, oh my God. And I guess the good Lord helped me out. He said, and I remember I had a picture, and it was one of our best players. It was Darren Peterson. He was the last one, and I remember his picture. He was like shooting the basketball, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah. yeah, my shooter Peterson. And so all the guys started laughing, And then look, then they stand up and gave me a standing ovation when I got their names right. So I was really proud about that. But going back to the story, so I printed a copy of and for my two grandsons, and so the day of the game, they were in the lobby of the hotel, and when my guys would come down, they were getting pictures and autographs. So they were watching with me. We were all watching last night. Yeah, we watched every minute. I stayed up till I think it was I think Chris Sanak, if I'm not mistaken, was the last guy chosen. No, Koa Pete.
Yeah, Koa Pete, yes.
He was the last guy chosen, number 30. So we watched that and it was getting late. It was almost 11 o'clock. But, yeah, we watched it. So it was really cool.
Okay, so of the guys, remind us which ones were on your team. And I'm sure there was a couple maybe you played on the other team.
Yeah. Okay, so A.J. DeBanster, the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
He was on our team along with Darren Peterson. So can you imagine? I had the number 1 and 2 on my team. Yeah. Kevin, I made a joke. I said, "Well, thank God we won that game because I had 7 of the top 20 players drafted last night. 7 of them were on my team. So thank God I won that game. It's going to be embarrassing if we lost that damn game."
Yeah.
Yeah. Now number 3 was Boozer, but Boozer was on the other team, but he was the 3rd pick, and then Caleb Wilson, who played at North Carolina, was the number 4 pick.
Yes.
So I had 1 DeBanster, 2 Peterson, 3 Wilson. All right, then now, Kevin, one of the guys that surprised me the most is this Mikhail Brown. Like obviously, Kevin, they're all great players, right?
Yes.
I mean, the 24 best players in the country, pretty much, give or take. But Mikhail Brown, man, again, I knew he was good. But if you'd have told me he'd be the 6th pick in the NBA draft, I'd be like, "Ooh, I don't know about that."
Yeah.
So, Mikhail Brown was number 6. Acuff was number 9. He didn't play. He was on the East team. He didn't play for me, but he was in the game. Dow Acuff, he played. He was number 7 pick. Braden Burries. Okay, now he's another kid that he played for Arizona. Now, Kevin, at the time when we coached him, he was the only player on our team that had not committed. So you can about imagine,
right.
That there was a lot of speculation and a lot of, like, where's Burries going to go? And he wound up going with Koa Pete to Arizona. And at the time, we didn't know it. He kind of told us he was narrowing it down, but we didn't know. But so he was a number 10 pick last night, on our team. Then Nate. Now I tell you, Kevin, one of my favorite players on the other team, because you spend 4 days with him. You kind of get to know both teams.
Right.
And I love Nate Amant. I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah,
he
from
played
Tennessee.
This year. Yeah. I think he was my favorite. Well, besides Boozer, I mean, you got to love the Boozer twins. They great kids. The dad was there. We got to meet him. So besides the Boozer kid, I think Nate was my favorite player on the East team, and he got picked 13th last night. He's going to the Bucks.
Right.
And then it went down, Kevin. Then we didn't have a pick again for a long time until we got to Chris Sanak, who Sanak is a kid that played in the Sun-Kissed Shootout. He played for Newman, Kevin, and then he went to a prep school his last year. And then he wound up with Houston, with Bobby Champagne at Houston. And so Sanak was number 27. And then the last pick last night was Koa Pete, who also now, interesting enough, Kevin, Koa couldn't play in our game. He broke his hand. Kevin, he played in his state championship high school game with a broken hand.
Wow.
They put a soft cast on it. He scored 42 points in the state championship game.
Wow.
Yeah. But he wasn't able to play for us. But again, he was on our roster. They let him come to the game because it was a last minute deal. And so he came to everything, every practice, everything. And he kind of shot around, but he couldn't participate. So Koa Pete was 30. So Kevin, 7 of the top 30 picks were on the West McDonald's All-American game, which is that I don't know. Look, they told us when we went in there, they said, "Coach, this might be the most talented bunch we've ever had," and they told us that, and they expected that, and sure enough, it's holding true. And I don't know. I'm trying to do a little research. I don't know the exact figures. If this is an all-time high, where 10 players of the top 30 were all McDonald's All-Americans, the previous year. These guys are all freshmen in college, Kevin.
Right. Well, it's been for years, the freshmen didn't do this, and so
right,
and then for a while everything was international players, so it might
exactly.
be, yeah.
I was going to tell you that it was kind of neat last night to see so many American players getting drafted, and then again, obviously the ones that I had been in contact with, that I had a personal relationship with, so that was cool. But yeah, it was kind of interesting last night that you didn't see. You had a couple of them on there, but man, like you said, for a couple of years there, it was all European and international players. Yeah. Definitely.
So is it fair to say you paid more attention to the NBA draft last night than any NBA draft ever?
Ever. I've never watched one in completion ever. So yeah, no. I like I said, I was so interested to see where our guys were going to go, and again, now the only thing when in my meeting I asked them, I said, now hey, I want you to remember me when I call for tickets to the games. so when they come to the Pels, that I can, I could get tickets for the Pels, but I am going to try, Kevin, to as much as I can, because last year we couldn't make it happen too much because our season interfered. So like I couldn't see when Malik. Oh, by the way, Malik Thomas is the only guy that is in the draft that did get drafted. But look, he may be the first guy that did. He might be number 31. Malik Thomas. He was on our team. So really, eight of my guys are going to. 8 of the 12 are going to be first or second round picks, which is incredible. But yeah, I tried to. We could I wanted to go to Arkansas LSU game last year, but we had a game that night.
Yeah.
And then I did go. Yeah, I did go to Houston game because I saw Sanak, and then I got to see Koa Pete and Burrs. Now Koa Pete was hurt; he didn't play that game, but I got to see 3 of our guys because I went to the University of Houston game with Sanak. Man, now Flemings is a good player, but he wasn't. He's probably one of those guys that probably should have been on that team, but wasn't. He had an unbelievable year for Houston. But and again, you can only pick 24. There are going to be some great players that don't make the McDonald's game, and Flemings for Houston was one of them. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be kind of neat to follow their careers, I think, and like I said, hopefully I can go see them play in person when they come to a pair. I mean, I obviously can't make all of them, but I'll try to, get as few as I can to watch these guys play.
Okay, if you had the number 1 pick, would you have picked DeBonzo over Peterson?
Kevin, I said this all along that Peterson. Now again, what happened in Kansas last year it really kind of shocked me because Kevin, of all people, Peterson was, and this is nothing against AJ, but Peterson was more open to what we were doing. I think he was more team oriented. And man, like I said, he won the MVP of the game, Kevin. So Peterson was my personal favorite. Yeah, I'd have picked Peterson. Again, what happened at Kansas last year kind of threw me off a little bit. But I think his probably agent had something to do with that. Who knows? But I would have picked Peterson. Now again, look. You can't go wrong with either one. I mean, Stefanski, he's a freak. I mean, he's almost like Wembley, but not not quite as he's not quite as tall and stuff. But he can do a lot of things. Those 2 guys, Kevin, are going to be immediate. Now, some of these other guys, I think are going to take a couple of years before they. But those, Peterson and Stefanski are going to be stars right away. I mean, they're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I think of Burrs and these other guys are going to need a year or 2 to really. NBA is a different game, so I think it's going to take them. But Peterson and Stefanski are going to go in there right away and be all-stars.
Well, your voice is sounding pretty good for the end of June because I'm sure you've been screaming at kids all summer.
Somebody told me that yesterday. Said, I'm surprised you usually lost your voice. Kevin, thank God I invested about 5 years ago in a speaker system, a little microphone.
Uh-huh.
That's wireless. That's the best $300 I ever spent in my life because it saves you from hollering at camp. You're exactly right. Yeah, we just got through camp and we had a really good camp again this summer.
Well, I just thought it was a really cool thing, and obviously, before I talked to you or asked you to come on, I had no idea that you watched the whole thing. That's a really cool thing, and it'll allow you to have a relationship and kind of follow these kids from a personal standpoint. That's going to be a lot of fun moving. That's a cool story.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Oh, and by the way, so this kid didn't go into the draft, but I did want to say this. I'll tell you about Peterson, my favorite. But to be honest with you, I really fell in love with Tunde. I can never think of his first name. But Tunde played this year at Baylor, okay? But he's going to play for where's he going? Hold on. St. John's. He's going to St. John's next year. So he didn't go in the draft. He decided, and he does. He needs some more work. But Kevin Tunde was the guy that, was diving on the floor in practice, taking charge foul. I mean, like, just getting after it, And he became because he played like I like coach.
Right.
The guys sometimes you want to be pretty, but he got after it, and so he was one of my favorites. So and he will get eventually drafted. He'll probably go next year. So again, yeah, there's some guys and there's still a couple other players who are going to eventually get drafted. So yeah, it's just really cool to follow him. Tunde also is one of the few that like I will text him. He stays in touch with me, so to speak. So he does, and so does Sanak, and who else that keeps in touch with me pretty good is Tunde, Sanak, and I forgot the other one. Whatever, but anyway, so yeah, that's really neat to kind of have somewhat of a relationship with these guys, and man, like I said, Kevin, I didn't know what I was getting into when I went, Ryan Welty watches all these films, and
yes,
he knew when he said, Coach, he saw the roster and he said, Coach, he knew right away. He said, we have the better roster. I said, well, thanks for putting the pressure on us to win that game, But Ryan knew right away. He goes, oh man, Coach, we got some players now, and so he would send me clips of them, and I'm watching what they're doing. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
Last night's draft showed that he knew what he was talking about. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Doubt. It's one of those deals, Kevin, where you just kind of show them a few little things, and you just kind of get out their way and let them go, and that's pretty much what we did. That we had fun with it. We really did, and it was experience I'll never forget. And like I said, now to see this going on, it makes it even kind of more special to see how you knew they were good, but I didn't know how great they were. And like I said, I mean, you're probably looking at these guys. You're looking at maybe some Hall of Fame guys.
Well, hopefully one or two. Could definitely get to that. All right. Well, I appreciate it as always. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll talk again. Thanks, Danny.
All right, Kevin. You take care. And hey, our Astros are kind of
hanging in there.
Have a little. Yeah, we're kind of getting a little better. I like what I'm seeing. We get healthy, get some others guys back again. We might make a little run. You never know.
I hope so. Just look at what Oklahoma did. It can still happen. Thanks, Danny.
That's right. All right, Kev. Take care. Bye-bye.
We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
It took 11 innings, but the Houston Astros evened up their series with the Toronto Blue Jays with a 9-7 win yesterday afternoon. The game was tied up at 6 apiece in the top of the 11th when Joey Loperfido sent a 3-run homer over the right field wall to push the Astros over the line. The rubber match of the series will be today, and it'll be Mike Burrows on the mound for Houston opposite of Trey Savage for Toronto. First pitch is at 6:07 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. The 2026 FIFA World Cup ramps up today with 6 matches headlined by host nations Canada and Mexico playing their last group stage matches of the tournament. At 2 p.m., Canada will face Switzerland, and at 8 p.m. tonight, Mexico will take on the Czech Republic. Also in the World Cup yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo made history in Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan as the only player ever to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments. In Eunice, Lane Finsky was named the NJCAA National Pitcher of the Year for his efforts with LSUE this past season. Finsky posted a 3.19 ERA across 93 innings with 98 strikeouts and 28 walks to go with his 15-0 record this season, a total that ties the LSUE all-time single-season win mark for a pitcher. With the first pick in last night's 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards selected forward A.J. Debnza out of BYU. Debnza is only the 3rd #1 overall pick in Wizards history with John Wall and Kwame Brown. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Stop smoking with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
My name's Robin Fletcher. I smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a seminar to stop smoking, and it worked.
The only stop smoking method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Alex Goen breaks your connection to cigarettes, coffee, stress, driving, even other smokers. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. You walk in a smoker and you walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Saturday, July 18th, the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 2 p.m. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN. alexgoen.com.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason? Moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check under sinks, around windows, and in attics for leaks or excess moisture. A little home maintenance goes a long way in keeping those pests out. Got unwanted guests? Call Sugarland Exterminating, 337-367-1414, or visit sugarlandexterminating.com for more information.
Sugarland Exterminating, the pest-free environment we're creating. Spiders, roaches, rats, and mice, those awful termites are not so nice. Get rid of all your pests right now. Call Sugarland Exterminating.
Termites, they're here. They're invasive. They can destroy your home if left untreated. Sugarland Exterminating has been in business for over 50 years, and they have the experience to effectively treat termites. Call 367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com.
And that has been your Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Looking for a great midweek treat? Come to Mezcal Mexican Restaurant every Wednesday and Thursday and enjoy their sizzling fajita special. $13.99 plus tax all day long. Don't forget all day 2-for-1 margaritas. Are you planning a large party? Let Mezcal handle it. Call 337-484-3298 and Mezcal will take care of everything. That's a fajita special, $13.99 plus tax all day Wednesday and Thursday at Mezcal Mexican Restaurant, 3546 Ambassador Caffrey, next to Rooms to Go. Come taste the flavor of Mezcal.
Are you not getting enough Kevin Foote in your life?
I want more. I want more. I want more.
Then make sure to check out the latest episode of Foot's Friday Fury on the ESPN Southwest Louisiana YouTube page.
All that's important right now is they decide to change their draft philosophy, stop the run. If he was the first choice and he didn't stop the run, what good does that do? Nothing. So stop talking about what choice he is. Let's focus on stopping the run and stop botching the first and second round. That's all that's important. All that other stuff is just garbage, hatred talk that means nothing.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell to get notifications of more of the Furious Foot.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Appreciate Danny coming on, and Danny's like one of the few. You don't have to ask many questions because he's got plenty to say, and we always appreciate talking to him. And, you know, what a unique situation, as we said. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that as he watched the first round with all these guys that he coached at the McDonald's All-Star game. So what a cool experience, and he be able to follow those players moving forward. All right, so we talked about, you know, Astros' wacky game last night. So thankful because once they blew the lead last night, I was like, they're about to get swept. And I've been talking about how they ain't been swept in 2 months. And I made the comment yesterday, I hope I'm not jinxing it and speaking it into existence, because I don't like their pitching matchup today at all. You Savage against Burrows, and Burrows hasn't proven he can do anything lately. And so it didn't look good. It looked like they were about to get swept, and then Loperfido hits a 3-run homer and bails them out, and they're able to at least, if nothing else, avoid the sweep. And hopefully they can win today. They can win. It'd be their 4th straight series win. So puts them in that position. All right, before we move on any further, because I was a little too fired up in that first segment, and then we just had an interview in the second one. What is our poll question of the day, sir?
For our poll question of the day, we had asked you on Facebook and on X, which league's rules drive you insane and is the most frustrating? Is it the NFL, is it the MLB, or is it the NBA?
Well, I think it's the NFL. As I've said, there's a difference between the rules and how they're enforced and the actual calling of the game. I don't know that the rules in basketball are that different. It's just nearly impossible to enforce the rules. So if the question is the rules, I don't think it's the NBA. I just think basketball is a game that's nearly impossible to officiate. Baseball rules, I think, are fine for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's one or two I'd like to change, but I think the rules are fine. It's just, whether you call a strike and a ball. There's not a whole lot else in baseball that, the players pretty much decide the game in baseball way more than the other two sports, which is one of the main reasons of why I prefer baseball. Not the only, but one of them. Other than the balls and strikes. I mean, as long as a ball, but again, that's an execution of the umpires or the officials in basketball, the referees in basketball. That's not the rule book. The NFL rule book is the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the MLB is pretty clear cut and dry. There's not like too much pizzazz to it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like you could make a little bit of an argument for the NBA, though, because even though, yes, it really kind of comes down to the officials and how they call the game, couldn't you almost say that because that's the case, that if they were to reword it, then it would become less frustrating?
Yeah, I just...
I agree, for me, it is also the NFL, but I feel like if you wanted to paint the picture a certain way, you could also definitely make an argument for the NBA, even though it's on the officials and how they are calling the game, that because the way the rules are worded, that it kind of opens itself up and opens up those can of worms.
So
for
do
that
you
being
think
the
you
case.
would, in other words, you would in the rule book allow for more contact?
I feel like if there was a way to reword a lot of the rules, then you could go back to it and be like, okay, then this is why it's making sense of why they're only making these types of calls so often, I guess you could say.
Okay. I still think NFL is by far the worst. And again, the thing that makes the NFL the worst, there's a lot of reasons, okay? But one trumps everything.
It's the pass interference.
The fact that I have a 50-yard pass interference flag in the back of my pocket as an official, and I don't even think the officials want it. But that in itself makes it the worst, in my opinion. I've complained about that for 40 years or more. I mean, it's just awful.
I'm right there with you.
They've got to fix that.
I think the least frustrating is the MLB. I think you could definitely make a case for the NBA, especially the way I worded it and displayed the argument, but I do think it's the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL is the worst. Plus, they change so many. I haven't complained as much about that as in the past, but they just change it so much.
As of late, we've had to change the rule book multiple ways, and it's like I'm having to adjust and mentally remember, no, wait, this is how they do things now. It's not what it was 5-10 years ago. And that's for multiple facets of the game.
Right. And most of that is because the athletes outgrew the game. And that's why baseball's the best game. Because the original, now they have tweaked some rules. And to be fair, some of the rule changes that baseball has made, almost everyone has worked very well in recent years. So they have tweaked it. But the foundation of the athletes have not outgrown the game. 60 feet, 6 inches is still the perfect distance. 90 feet, no matter how bigger and faster and stronger the guys get. 90 feet is still the perfect distance to first base. And the original rule, it's the best game. And so the athletes didn't outgrow the game. And so that's why that's the way it is, because of the way the game is. So, I just hope that, in the NFL's case, they can figure out a way to correct the mistakes. And a lot of them, they have figured out a way. So I think it's better than it used to be. They just got to get that 50-yard flag out of the back pocket of the officials.
To be fair, with a lot of what you just said with baseball, I mean, the only real changes for football when it comes to like the field itself and how it's played out was just for the safety of the players. Like the dimensions of the football field have been the same since the early 1900s.
Yeah, that's true.
And the only reason, like the big difference for the most part, is the goalpost, because the goalpost used to be at the goal line.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But they moved it back because obviously people, when they're running routes, were very susceptible to running into the pole and giving themselves serious injuries.
Right, but again, they also, and I guess baseball's legislated offense into the league with banning the shift and stuff like that. But football is a man-on-man contact sport.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they've had to change what you can do on the field.
Yeah,
because it's just more of a contact sport, and baseball isn't. And so it's now, there are things that have changed in baseball. Like you used to be able to crush the second baseman on a double play. You can't do anymore. That's the same thing. It's a safety issue. They basically treat the middle infielders like the wide receivers. You can't just plow into them anymore.
And they're also kind of doing it the same when they get to home plate.
Yes, you can't just run over the catcher anymore. So in that way, it's the same. That's a good point. All right, we'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
With storm season having arrived, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley brings you these hurricane tips. Make sure to secure your home and bring in outdoor items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with food, water, medication. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with a battery-powered radio and make sure you have fresh batteries. Remember, safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crawley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Around Acadiana, community means supporting the businesses that make our hometown special. That's why we're proud to spotlight local companies that are certified South Louisiana.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the big, beautiful bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit brysonlawfirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA 251979.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Go check out our YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA for the latest episodes of Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh and Ford Tire Change with Dawson Isolo and much more. That's ESPN, Southwest Louisiana's sports station on YouTube.
Welcome back to Footnotes on this Wednesday. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll better to make some progress maybe in the second hour. I don't know how much progress we'll make today. We've made a lot of progress on week 4 of our Footnotes Summer Project yesterday. It's NBA week, and we were talking about the NBA in that we had the NBA draft last night and talked about it through Danny Broussard's eyes as he talked about a lot of the players that he was able to coach in the McDonald's All-American game. I think I said All-Star, the All-American game last year. But I also said, just because we got a few minutes here, that it was a crazy night in Major League Baseball. Did you see what happened in the Phillies-Nationals game? The Phillies were down, I think it was 8-6 going into the 9th. And they had 2 outs and nobody on. Down 8-6, 2 outs, nobody on, and scored 8 runs to end up and gave up one in the 9th and won 14-9. Like, that's the kind of stuff that just in baseball that just is. How does that happen?
Well, that feels like something that's happened before at our local neighborhood field. I remember there were times where we'd play like baseball or like kickball, some sort of base sport, and there was an open field in our neighborhood. And I remember one time, like, we got 2 outs, and then all of a sudden, like, we couldn't get that third out, and we gave up like 8 to 10 runs in a row. It's like all of a sudden we were up like 5-4, and then we're looking. It's like, man, we have nearly a double-digit deficit. And we're in our quote-unquote 3rd inning. What just happened?
Yeah, it really is amazing. They just started hitting home. Well, they started with a single to left center, and then they just started hitting home. Stott hit a 3-run homer. It was just unbelievable. So, that kind of stuff can happen, and it's just so wacky when it does. I mentioned the Rays lost again. The Royals lose Bobby Witt. Again, this is a baseball thing pretty much. The Royals lose Bobby Witt, I think, about a week ago. And, he's one of the best players in baseball and certainly the best player on their team. And since he's been out, they've been scoring runs like crazy. They scored 12 again last night. Jack Caglione hit 2 more home runs, and they put up 12. They had one game where the Piper got him after scoring a bunch of runs. They won 2-1 earlier this week. But before and after that, I mean, they've been scoring runs like crazy without their best players. Kind of like right after Judge went down, the Yankees started scoring a bunch of runs without their best hitter. So it's amazing how that crazy stuff can happen. And also, speaking of kind of wild finishes, the Padres beat the Braves 7-6 in 10 innings last night. The Braves are very fortunate that they had 2 walk-off wins over the weekend over the Brewers, because without that, they would be kind of reeling a little bit. Right now, the Braves are only 5.5 up after that idiot Buster Olney declared the division over a month ago. We'll take a timeout and be back.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday, powered by Regional Homes of Opelousas and ESPN 1037 and 1041. We're giving you the chance to win a 250th Anniversary of America flag and flagpole kit. Listen on air for the American Trivia question, and you could be one of our lucky winners. We're giving away 5 flag and 5 flagpole kits during the week of July 4th. Thanks to our friends at Regional Homes of Opelousas. Salute, and happy 250th birthday, America.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Are you looking for an eye expert? Well, visit Acadiana Optics in Broussard, locally owned, founded, and operated by Broussard native Dr. Lindsay Dugas. From comprehensive eye exams for glasses and contacts to diabetic exams, pediatric eye care, emergency eye care, cataract and LASIK evaluations, Acadiana Optics provides family eye care for all vision needs. Enjoy state-of-the-art technology, designer frame selections, prescription Maui Jim sunglasses, and custom glasses and contacts. Acadiana Optics in Broussard. Call today to schedule your appointment.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking, so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
It took 11 innings, but the Houston Astros evened up their series with the Toronto Blue Jays with a 9-7 win yesterday afternoon. The game was tied up at 6 apiece in the top of the 11th when Joey Loperfido sent a 3-run homer over the right field wall to push the Astros over the line. The rubber match of the series will be today, and it'll be Mike Burrows on the mound for Houston opposite of Trey Savage for Toronto. First pitch is at 6:07 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. The 2026 FIFA World Cup ramps up today with 6 matches headlined by host nations Canada and Mexico playing their last group stage matches of the tournament. At 2 p.m., Canada will face Switzerland, and at 8 p.m. tonight, Mexico will take on the Czech Republic. Also in the World Cup yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo made history in Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan as the only player ever to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments. In Eunice, Lane Finsky was named the NJCAA National Pitcher of the Year for his efforts with LSUE this past season. Finsky posted a 3.19 ERA across 93 innings with 98 strikeouts and 28 walks to go with his 15-0 record this season, a total that ties the LSUE all-time single-season win mark for a pitcher. With the first pick in last night's 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards selected forward A.J. Debnza out of BYU. Debnza is only the 3rd #1 overall pick in Wizards history with John Wall and Kwame Brown. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome back to Footnotes. You are listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. We have 1 hour down, another hour to go on this Wednesday, a glorious Wednesday, because the Astros were right on the verge and did so many things that were wrong yesterday and so many bad things. But they did a couple really good things. They hit 4 home runs. I kind of feel like we talked about an hour ago with Blake. It's kind of like home runs are kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free card, or like he talked about, a wild card in Uno. I don't play as much, play it every once in a while. Play other games where you need wild cards, and I typically don't get as much of them, many of them, as my other family members do when we play those games. And I've been known to make a few comments about that. And so, yeah, that was a good analogy from Blake. That it's kind of like you do it what I call the cheesy way. You get the wild card instead of having a real hand. You get it with the wild card, and the Astros wild carded their way to a win yesterday. The cheesy way, but you can get.
I mean, the strategy with Uno is you're normally just trying to have it be as generic as possible at the end. That way, you're not like, man, I really need it to be a 7 or a blue.
Yeah,
it's like normally you're trying to have
it. To me, it's a better, more fulfilling, less cheesy way to win when you can. When your last card is the real card and not like a wild card.
Well, it's absolutely satisfying when you're like, wow, it played out perfectly for me. Yeah, like it's awesome.
Home runs are the cheesy way out.
But normally it's like the odds of it happening are pretty slim, so you need to give yourself the best chance. So you're like, all right, well, I'm trying to hold on to this wild or this +4 as long as I can.
No, I get it. You do what you have to do. And yesterday, the Astros had their backs to the wall. They had to do it. And fortunately, it's just, the fact that he did it against a team he played for last year and they traded for, and, all of that is cool. And you get the win and you need it, and it was just a bailout victory. So we talked about that. Our poll question of the day has to do with rules, NFL rules is something I've talked about on radio shows for about 30-something years, and so that is a question, a poll question of the day that hits very close to home for me. And so again, the question is, which rules do you have the most problem with? Essentially, which league's rules? Major League Baseball, the NBA, or the NFL? And of course, my answer is definitely the NFL. And so we will certainly, you can comment on that, and there's a lot of things to say one way or the other about all three for sure. All right, let us head out to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Before I get on what I want to talk about was the summer project, I want to thank Bitter, because I'm glad Bitter mentioned Havlicek and Collins. I was thinking about that the first day, and it slipped my mind. So I'm glad he mentioned that. He mentioned Dr. J and Moses Malone. That was 83 when they won that title. Also, he mentioned Drexler and Olajuwon. Drexler was only there for the second end of the back-to-back. He wasn't there for the first one, so they traded Drexler for Vernon Maxwell and Otis Thorpe. So that's what Drexler was only there for the second of the back-to-back titles. Did you add any players? First time I was in a meeting. I couldn't.
We added Alex English and Kiki Vandeweghe, Sidney Moncrief and Paul Pressey. And someone said Pistol and Goodrich, but I think it's really Pistol and Truck Robinson. And Dan Issel was brought up. And so I don't know exactly when the cutoff would have been for you, but I think those are the ones since we spoke that we've added.
Let me ask you this, man. Rick Barry. Was Nate Thurman there?
Yes.
Rick Barry the first time?
Yes.
Okay,
Nate.
Rick Barry and Nate Thurman. What about Rick Barry and Jamal Wilkes when they won the...
Jamal Wilkes was on that too. Like Jamal Wilkes was on that team. Clifford Ray was on that team in '75. But I think you're right. I think your first one would be Barry and Thurman.
Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain and Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes. Yes.
There's just the idea that him averaging 50 a game, man, just crazy. But now, who would you add for Wilt Chamberlain? That's kind of a weird. Like who is Duo? Like,
Well, I mean, you're talking about when he played for the Sixers. Well, there was a guard. It was Hal Greer was his name, I believe.
Yeah.
Again, I never saw Hal Greer and Wilt play, so I don't know. But I guess you would say Hal Greer, yeah.
What about Peyton and Kemp? Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Like I said, I know it's not going to make the top 10, but that was a popular one.
No, that was definitely a good one. I mean, I have great respect for Peyton. Was a great defensive player and could score. Tony Kemp was one of those. Kemp was not Tony Kemp, played for the Astros. Sean Kemp was one of those kind of flash in the pans where he was really good at times, really up and down, not as consistent over the years. But no, I mean, they had a great run there for a while. Yes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I heard you mention the Bucks players from the '80s, like you said, Presley and Moncrief. That's about it, man. Yeah, I wanted to get Rick Barry and Nate Thurman in. And well, you said Jamal Wilson, and that's not going to make it. But that's all I wanted to add. And man, I'm glad Giannis didn't go to the Celtics, man. I'm glad that didn't.
Yeah,
happen.
me too. I want to continue to be able to pull for him.
Dustin Poirier, y'all talked about that?
We have not talked about it. No.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call. I did see the video. I just would like to know the context, just like these other videos we've been seeing. I hate to comment because we got burned. What was it? About a year ago, we saw this video and then jumped to some conclusions, and I felt like, well, I've told myself before, until we know all the context and other things, let's not jump to conclusions. And so I don't want to do that again. But yeah, I mean, obviously on the surface it doesn't look good. But someone brought up, FedEx man brought up the ABA, and this ended up being in the NBA. But somebody that we haven't mentioned yet is George Gervin and Larry Keenan. Gervin played with one of my favorite guys, or favorite people to talk about from that area, the Wappa, Billy Pauls. And a friend of mine texted me that. But I would say that Keenan and Gervin were, James Silas was a pretty good player, but he was more of a point, a guard, a ball handler on those Spurs teams that had some talent. And I would say Gervin and Keenan would be the Spurs from that group, from that era, 1-2 punch. All right, let us head back to the ESPN hotline. Hello.
Good morning, Fred.
Good morning.
Kevin, I was listening to the 2-minute drill, and you talking about that. They were talking about that kid Lane Finsky from Catholic in Iberia. I actually know the kid and the family. In fact, the kid and the mama have been playing in our fantasy baseball league all the way up to last year.
Oh, come on!
And did you ever interview the kid when he was at Catholic?
I mean, I think we did as a newspaper, but me personally, no, I don't think I ever did.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Him and his mama used to go. That's how I know him. They were season ticket holders for Cajun baseball. He was always wanting to play for the Cajun. It's funny how they grow up. They go in a different directions. He originally committed to Nebraska, but he backed out. Then he went to LSUE.
Well, look, a lot of really good players have come out of LSUE, so no, good for him. That was an impressive national honor. Yes, sir.
15-0. I mean, with Player of the Year. I mean, I think he's running the back. Last time I talked to his mom, I think he's running the back with LSUE again. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the big schools are going to come calling on that kid before too long if he does that again next year.
I would think so. Yeah, no, I would think he would go to a really good program.
And when he was a Catholic, how good was Catholic in high school when he was there? You remember?
I don't remember how far they went, but Catholic always goes pretty far. Yeah. No, I mean, they're always – I'd have to go back and look at what seemed like they went really far his last year, but I'd have to – the older I get, all the years go together. But, no, they've made consistent deep runs.
And, Kevin, I did do some homework. I did also play with David Thompson. I think, like you said, I did find out they didn't win the championship. But David Thompson and Issa were together on that team. That's a good 1-2 combo right there, buddy.
Yes, absolutely.
Have a good one.
All right, take care. FedEx man. I ended up picking a punk pitcher on my fantasy team, and I shouldn't have done it because he's been awful, just awful. Sheehan has been awful for me, killing me, and so sometimes it's best just to not. I'm willing because I've said before my fantasy. I separate fantasy and real sports, and so I don't. Did I ever have 16 and 80 on my team? No. But anyone else, like I've had Steve, I drafted Steve Young one year, and I, so I'll draft players for my most hated teams. And fantasy is just a totally different animal. But man, maybe I need to stop picking punks because every time I do pick one of the pitchers, they just do awful for me.
I was gonna say, well, with your luck, you should just pick all of the division rivals.
Yeah. Maybe I should
pick Drake London, pick Bijan Robinson.
Yes, I need to do all of that.
Pick King Tet.
Yes.
Pick the Big Dumper, even though he's already been having a bad season anyway.
Yeah, maybe that. And I've done that before. I helped the Braves this year because I picked Soto and Lindor. Lindor ain't played in like 2 months, and Soto keeps getting hurt. He's played pretty well when he plays, but not great. So I kind of killed the Mets for Braves fans. Maybe I need to be more strategic in that way. Yes, pick a lot more Mariners and stuff. And I typically pick a lot of Mariners pitchers, but last year I picked one and he was just awful for me. So I don't know. That's a side note, but I thought about it when FedEx man called.
Just don't touch Jalen Coker. Don't touch Jalen Coker.
What?
I have him on my dynasty squad.
On your dynasty
yeah.
squad.
Also don't touch Chuba Hubbard. I need Chuba to do good.
I didn't even dream that we would be talking about this, but there's going to be a lot more Saints picked in fantasy football this year.
Oh yeah,
a lot more.
Oh yeah,
a lot more Saints picked.
People are going to be all in on Travis Etienne.
And probably in this area they will be overdrafted.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay. That's all part of the fun of it. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Make sure you celebrate America's 250th birthday with the Lafayette Stars and Stripes held on Saturday, July 4th at Park International, downtown Lafayette. There'll be kids' activities, local pop-up shops, food vendors, musical performances by Sold Out, Rusty Matoir, and Zydeco Crush, as well as DJ Digital. And fireworks at night, of course. This is a free family event, so make sure to mark your calendars for Lafayette Stars and Stripes, presented by Lafayette Consolidated Government, LUS, LFT Fiber, serving good vibes, AVA, and Delta Media Corp.
Make sure to set your alarm and tune in Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock for Sports Shorts here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Join me, Ronnie Rance, and the Sports Shorts team of Tommy Christsand, Hunter McCann, and the crazy man, Joel Davis, as we break down the sports and teams that you love. The LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, and everything in between. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to noon for Sports Shorts here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
ESPN 103.7 KLWB FM and 104.1 KLCJ FM are properties of Delta Media Corporation, Southwest Louisiana's only locally owned and operated premier multimedia company with radio, television, and digital properties. ESPN 103.7 and 104.1 often conducts promotional contests on the air and on our digital platforms to include ESPN SouthwestLouisiana.com and the ESPN Text Club. In order to participate in any contest promotion, you must be at least 18 years of age and reside within the broadcast coverage area of ESPN. Only one winner per household per 30 days. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Winners agree to pay any taxes or fees related to a prize as noted in contest rules. Winners also agree that ESPN Southwest Louisiana has permission to use their name, likeness, portrait, recorded voice, or other biographical material to promote the station and participating sponsors. Employees, family members, and sponsors of ESPN Southwest Louisiana and Delta Media are not eligible to participate in any promotional contest. A complete list of rules can be found online at ESPNSouthwestLouisiana.com or available to view at the main offices of Delta Media Corporation during operating business hours, located at 3501 Northwest Evangeline Thruway, Carencro.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Hebert, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Hebert, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealAbear.com. That's BealAbear.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. Your home for the Houston Astros.
Welcome back to Footnotes on this glorious Wednesday, and it is time to have our weekly chat with Dawson Iserloh. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm surprised it's a glorious Wednesday. What's that about?
Well, the Astros looked like they were on the verge of getting swept in Toronto, and they were up 4-0, blew the lead. They were down 6-4, and they got bailed out by a 3-run homer by Joey Loperfido. And so I'm just very grateful for not blowing it a game. It would have made for a miserable evening and a miserable morning. And so it's glorious because I didn't have to go through that misery.
You know what's crazy? This doesn't happen to me often. I think you know this about me. Pretty locked in on most of these things.
Yes.
I turned it off when it was 6-4. I did not know the Astros won until you just said that.
Are you serious?
I didn't check anything. I was so out of commission last night. I was trying to catch up on some sleep. That's news to me, and that makes a lot more sense now.
Okay.
So that's
listen,
exciting.
if you don't know what happened, okay, they Altuve, who's been really good all of a sudden,
yeah,
and I'm about to get to that. He gets a single, and El Perro Grande gets a single. Paredes walks, and then Loperfido comes up, and he had pinch hit, and catcher's interference.
Well, yeah, actually, you know when I turned it off is when they didn't score with the bases loaded, one out in the eighth.
Yes.
That's when I turned it off.
Very frustrated. And then they have the pitcher, Pearson, pitches the bottom A. He can't throw on a comebacker to first base.
Yeah, saw that part.
Okay, so that ends up they get a 2-out hit. If he'd have thrown him out, it'd have been 3 outs. It wouldn't have even happened. Still been 4-4. So anyway, they tie it. They get 1 run with the base loaded, 1 out on a catcher's interference after Walker strikes. I'm going to start rebuking him to try to motivate him a little bit. And then Cam gets a sac fly to left. And then in the 10th, they don't score because they can't get a hit. Can't get the ball at the infield or runner on third. Classic. In the 11th, first and second, nobody out. All of a sudden, it's first and second, 2 outs, and it looks like, well, they're not going to score again. It's a 1-2 count on Loperfido, and he hits it in the second deck down the line.
That's a revenge series for
3-run home.
It's easy.
First home run of the season.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's baseball. So, all right, while we're on baseball, I'm almost positive you and I have had this discussion before.
Okay.
The Astros have been hitting El Perro Grande in the 2-hole.
Yeah.
Again, that's not a new concept if you followed UL softball because Coach Lotis started that 20-something years ago where he hit his best hitter and his philosophy hitting in the 2-hole. And a lot of people do that now.
Yeah.
But I think if it was up to me, especially now if Altuve is really back, which he's shown some signs, if Pena's playing, you got to hit him in the 1-hole, Altuve in the 2-hole, and El Perro Grande in the 3-hole. You agree or disagree?
I agree just because I've always pushed back on the idea of hitting. I understand what it's doing is giving that player somewhere over the course of 50 to 60 more at bats when you multiply it across 162 games, whatever it is. But at the same time, I'm going to disagree with the idea that it's not valuable to potentially have 2 runners on base when that guy comes up in the first inning. And especially when it's a power hitter. Like, that's what always bothered me. Like, George Springer in the leadoff spot. Now, that one almost worked because, like, him hitting leadoff homers was almost like a momentum thing and like get him going, and it worked for a long time. But it's like if that player is more likely to homer than he is get on base, hit a single or double or something like that, then why would you not want the chance for that guy to come up in the first inning with runners on base, where the leadoff hitter who you're hitting doesn't have a chance really to hit a homer, right? Or his chances are way lower. That it's never fully made sense to me why the
so
1 and 2
Schwarber
spots.
hitting in the leadoff spot makes zero sense.
No,
to
it
you.
doesn't. It doesn't. Other than like if you want to go with some psychological thing of having the idea of getting off to a good start and going up 1-0. If he's going to hit that homer in the first inning and he hits it when he's batting third and you have a runner on, you now have 2 runs instead of 1. That's not hard for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm with you. I think I do understand hitting second, and I guess the idea is if our leadoff hitter gets on, now we have a chance, and they can't pitch around him and all that other stuff. I think that's also part of it, but no, I would be a fan of that, especially if you have 2 guys that are competent ahead of him in the lineup. You're so stunned, Altuve. It's like he's like the guy's in the Hall of Fame, and he starts getting base hits, and you're stunned.
Yeah, look, every time he goes into a slump, now that he's gotten to a certain age, I'm just so paranoid that, it's over. Like, I just have that feeling.
Like a dog that falls one too many times and you think it's time to go to the vet?
I'm so paranoid that when he goes through like an 0 for 13 and he just looks awful. Now, again, if you go 0 for 13 and you're hitting line drives, that's different. But when he goes through an 0 for 12 or whatever he looks awful, it scares me that he's at the end of the line.
His slumps have always looked awful, though, because he swings at pitches that hit guys in the press box, and he still swings at it. But that's been happening since he was 23, so I don't know why that would change now.
Did it restore your faith in humanity that the NFL decided to not have the supplemental draft?
I don't know. I didn't think it was a humanity thing. I
I'm
thought,
just exaggerating, but yeah.
No, I mean, to that point, like, I wasn't offended by the idea of them letting him do that. I mean, I feel like he wasn't going to go somewhere and play right away, and if he did, he was probably going to play poorly because he's got the whole, not the same situation, but I would feel like the Deshaun Watson lingering thing would be in effect here, where like, how's this guy going to just mentally handle himself? But yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for him today. That's the other way.
Okay, so
to ask
what
the
I
question.
don't get is why can't he be signed as an undrafted free agent?
It's the same stuff that's put into place to prevent basically circumventing the draft in the first place, right? Because in that case, if that was allowed, then guys would intentionally not enter the draft and just sign big contracts with free agents elsewhere. So essentially, to get into the NFL, outside of, I think there are exceptions for like playing in other leagues, like if you end up playing in the UFL or something like that, you have to enter the draft at some point and give everyone the chance to select you, because then guys
That's
would
fair.
just they would
So
say,
he'll be in next year's draft.
he will be eligible for it, yes. And Texas Tech, by the way, is now I don't know if I have this idea. What if GJ Kinney wants to get him to play Texas State this year? That'd be fun.
You want that?
No, I'm joking. I mean, I Team K. I kind of like Team Chaos.
Yeah,
they're not in the Sun Belt.
Oh no, they
anymore,
are.
so.
They are in Team Chaos. No question there.
But like it seemed, which I predicted when the first like backlash happened. I said, there's just no way Texas Tech is going to have to quote unquote do the right thing. Now they're not doing it because it's the right thing. They're just going to feel too much PR pressure. But it just didn't make sense that he was going to play college football this year. So. No, I think he's going to disappear for a year, and we'll see where he falls in the draft next year.
All right, I'm going to do something unique here. See if you're ready for this.
Okay.
I'm going to fast forward 2 or 3 months to a subject that I think we're going to be discussing several times, if not quite often, once the NFL season gets here.
Fair enough.
The Saints have a lot more talent on offense now. I think one of the byproducts of that is that Kellen Moore, the Beef, is going to be going for it on 4th down a lot.
Okay.
Because if you remember his DC, when they used to do that, when he would go for it on 4th down all the time when Eddie Haskell was the head coach. And some of that was when they were together and their roles were flipped. But remember, and he got in a lot of trouble for that when he was with the Chargers. Are you ready for that? Is my question. And do you agree with it when because I think that's about to happen. He's going to go for it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a real situational person. I really like to evaluate this. I think we talk about it with the Cajuns a lot. I think each individual decision has a lot of different factors in it. Am I okay with the idea of analytically going for it as opposed to like time and place? No, I'm not. I'm not a big fan of like, I understand there's a spreadsheet in a computer that says 4th and 3 or less in this situation on this yard line, you go for it. I think more than that needs to be considered. What does the offense look like? What is the health of our number one weapon? What did the drive look like before this? What's the score? I think all those things are much more important than that spreadsheet deems them to be. But in general, going for it a lot more, yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think the data suggests it for a good reason, so I'm cool with it.
At least now, I'm hoping anyway, the plan is that they're going to have a legitimate NFL punter. So before, I didn't mind it so much because this guy's probably going to kick a 35-yard line drive right at the punt returner anyway. But now they actually have a real NFL punter. I don't know what I think. Look, I am conservative by nature.
I am too, except, so are you, that actually changed it though. I'm more talking about going for it in field goal type situations. You sound like you're asking more about
I'm talking about it's going to happen on their own side of the field.
Yeah. So
a lot this year. I really expect that to happen.
I'm much more conservative when it's a punting situation. I am of the idea if you've earned yourself 3, I understand the risk involved with earning 7 instead because it's worth that much more. And if you don't get it, you're putting your defense into an okay situation. Yeah, I am much more hesitant to go for it on my own side of the field. And I don't know why this is, and it's actually, coach, the way that the game's been called for a long time backs this up. I'm also way more okay with college teams doing it, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the idea, like, if you really think you're better than a team, you feel more comfortable going for it on 4th and 1. In the NFL, you're not going to be that much better than anybody you're playing. No, yeah, I'm generally much more conservative on my own side of the 50.
I think we're going to have this discussion once the season starts more than once. Okay, since you kind of brought it up and didn't know that you brought it up, I wasn't going to go this route, but since we're here, I'm going to go it.
Okay.
Are you taking this Tanner Brown talk seriously? This kicker that the Saints have signed from the UFL? Like, is this real and should I fall for it? Because I think the Saints' number one question mark right now is the kicker. I'm not sold on our little Irish guy who missed, 4 or 5 kicks last year. I hope he's good if he's there. I'm a big kicker guy. We talk about kicking and how easy it is, and y'all all disagree with me. Should I buy this hype, or should I just totally ignore it?
No, totally ignore it. So here's my thing. It sounds like every year for the last 10 years, the Saints have had a kicker in the building so many times, and there's always buzz about them. It's just such a fun thing to buzz about, and I guess it's so vague, like where it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's really good at kicking the ball. You're like, yeah, that's probably why he's here, right? And so it's so easy to make up the rumors, right? Where if it's a receiver, you're like, well, is he fast? Does he catch? Well, no, this guy can really kick. Every single time. And before it was Will Lutz was once that guy, and then Will Lutz got it done to him, and then it was Groupie, and then Groupie's guy was Smith, and now Smith's guy. It's happened so many times before, and half the time it's been real, half the time it hasn't been. So I'm gonna believe it when like they start talking about it and I see him in person. I've never seen the guy yet. I haven't seen him kick a ball. They say he kicks it real far, real good.
What if this cat is Aubrey?
Well, yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. What do you mean? I don't think those stories
should
just
I allow
happen. myself
to fantasize about this is what I'm asking.
No. You should be more excited about the Irish
I should put the kibosh to it quickly.
Yeah, you should be more excited about our Irish friend.
You just don't know how much
Which he's not.
You know what's
I'm not sold on that cat.
Well, I kind of know him a little bit, so I got a little special. It's some personal bias there, but how exciting is it going to be if this guy's hitting big kicks and we get live look-ins at some Irish pub in Ireland that's watching the game fired up for him?
I just want to be really good at special teams. Do you know how long it's been? Like in 2021, they were pretty good. They got better, but before that, they were terrible at it for years and decades. Like, you know how great it will be and how excited I'll be if we're going to be really good at special teams again?
It'd be really fun.
Especially if the offense is as good as we think it could be and the defense is anywhere near to statistically a top 10 defense. I'm not saying they were a top 10 defense last year, but they were statistically a top 10 defense.
You ever just think about the fact that we signed Caden Ellis? I thought about that the other day.
I made the comment last week. I'm not saying he's a better football player. I'm saying in Eddie Haskell's system, Caden Ellis is better for this system than DeMario Davis is.
Why is he Eddie Haskell?
Because the beef, and he kind of looks like Eddie Haskell.
Okay.
That have you not seen Leave It to Beaver?
I've seen it. No,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I just didn't know.
It just fits with the beef thing.
Right. Okay.
By the way, this morning on Get Up, they were talking about the Riddler.
Were they?
Yeah, in fact, because Seth Greenberg called him the Joker, and what's his name? Mike Greenberg said, "Well, wait a minute, you got to get this right now. The guy with the question mark was the Riddler, not the Joker." And so, I just thought that I got a little kick out of that.
You know what I think's funny? I've been watching Get Up now and again. You know, same family of networks. Mike Greenberg says that Seth Greenberg is not related to him every single time.
Why does he have to do that?
I don't know. I guess it's just a bit at this point.
I was going to say, it has to be an ongoing gag at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. They are not brothers, in case anybody didn't know it. And that is clarified every single time.
Okay, one more thing. I know you're not probably as big an NBA fan as you are football and basketball. Do you have any affirmations or suggestions for our 1-2 punch NBA week? Or not yet?
Yeah, so my favorites to watch growing up, Durant and Westbrook is on there for sure.
That not on here yet. That has not been said.
Okay. Always thought it was weird that Harden was just lingering there.
Yes.
But Durant and Westbrook was obviously the real show. I mean, Kobe, Shaq, I'm sure you have on there.
Yes.
And then Chris Paul, David West. Give me my guys for the
Wow, yeah. Chris Paul, David West. I like that.
Driving inside, leaving it for a little 15-foot elbow jumper. David West had that little natural fadeaway in his jump shot.
Should be Zion and Ingram, but that never really happened.
Never happened. Nope. Should have been Zion and a lot of guys. Should have been Anthony Davis and a lot of guys. None of that's. Nope.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Anytime.
We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
It took 11 innings, but the Houston Astros evened up their series with the Toronto Blue Jays with a 9-7 win yesterday afternoon. The game was tied up at 6 apiece in the top of the 11th when Joey Loperfido sent a 3-run homer over the right field wall to push the Astros over the line. The rubber match of the series will be today, and it'll be Mike Burrows on the mound for Houston opposite of Trey Savage for Toronto. First pitch is at 6:07 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. The 2026 FIFA World Cup ramps up today with 6 matches headlined by host nations Canada and Mexico playing their last group stage matches of the tournament. At 2 p.m., Canada will face Switzerland, and at 8 p.m. tonight, Mexico will take on the Czech Republic. Also in the World Cup yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo made history in Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan as the only player ever to score in 6 different World Cup tournaments. In Eunice, Lane Finsky was named the NJCAA National Pitcher of the Year for his efforts with LSUE this past season. Finsky posted a 3.19 ERA across 93 innings with 98 strikeouts and 28 walks to go with his 15-0 record this season, a total that ties the LSUE all-time single-season win mark for a pitcher. With the first pick in last night's 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards selected forward A.J. Debnza out of BYU. Debnza is only the 3rd #1 overall pick in Wizards history with John Wall and Kwame Brown. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, D.C., chiropractic physician.
Injured in a car accident? Confused about what to do next? At Briscoe Chiropractic, we have been treating auto accident injuries for almost 2 decades. We focus on the diagnosing and treatment of injuries related to motor vehicle accidents, providing comprehensive care while documenting your injuries. Even minor accidents can cause injuries that may not show up right away. Ignoring these injuries could lead to chronic pain and long-term issues. At Briscoe Chiropractic, we focus on treating accident-related injuries. Our chiropractic care focuses on realigning your spine and reducing pain and helping your body heal naturally. Don't wait until the pain worsens. Early treatment is key to a full recovery.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091. Briscoe Chiropractic, where recovery is no accident.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
You're listening to the 2026 LAB Award winner for Best Use of Digital Media, Footnotes with Kevin Foote, on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Well, we were able to get a few there in. Dawson came through with a couple new ones. There hadn't been whether it was the Hornets or the Pels, there haven't been a lot of success for that franchise. But Chris Paul and David West was a 1-2 punch. That was a long time ago. Was that before you? Do you remember that? Were you watching basketball when Chris Paul and David West were playing in the playoffs and actually playing well?
No, funny enough, like my first year of starting to watch actual NBA basketball was like the first or second year after Chris Paul got traded to the Clippers.
Okay.
So the Chris Paul Hornets era was never a thing for me.
Yeah, you missed it.
Do you want me to give you some more off the wall answers?
Okay, I'll take some.
This one's pretty interchangeable between a lot of players, so it'll be like a slash between each one of them. We'll do LeBron James, Jalen Brunson, Joel Embiid, just about any player, and foul baiting / flopping.
Man, the man hates flopping.
Yeah, I mean, you could also say Marcus Smart, even though he's a former Celtic.
Yes.
He's now currently dead to me in a sense because he is on the Lakers.
Right.
Speaking of the Lakers,
He's supposed to be.
Huh?
He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Dead to you.
Yeah, he's supposed to be dead to me. Austin Reeves did just sign a 4-year contract, max contract, $185 million with the Lakers.
What do they think they're going to do with that moving forward? Like, I don't.
Well, I think we'll now see a new 1-2 punch in Luka and Austin Reeves.
But who's going to defend someone? You got to defend people. Did they not watch the playoffs?
It's irrelevant. Smart. Which, to be fair, I mean, was pretty effective. I mean, did you see that series? He was frustrating Shea. I mean, they still got swept, but.
By the way, speaking of the draft last night, in NBA strategies, you know, I'm not a big NBA draft person necessarily, but I thought there were some interesting things in that draft last night. One of them is the Thunder drafted some height. They got that tall cat from Michigan who was an interesting player. Again, I mean, everything they do has a plan to it, and it seems strategic. So I thought that was interesting what they did. I also thought it was a very interesting scenario where Dusty May goes to the Mavs as the ex-Michigan coach, and he basically has his pick of 3 Michigan players, and that had to be interesting, like how who he decided to pick. And he went with the big bulky guy in Johnson instead of the taller, more slender guy or the more ball handler guy. And so it's interesting that you make that move to the NBA. The team you're going to is picking 9th, and 3 of the key figures that help you win the national championship there. And I'm sure they were like, well, I wonder which one he's going to pick. Now, I'm not saying it was all his decision because, you know, GMs and all that. But, I mean, when you have 3 Michigan guys on the table and you just hired the Michigan coach, you would think his opinion carried a pretty good weight there. So I thought that was interesting how that played out. So some interesting tidbits. You know, again, last hour we talked to Danny Broussard about, you know, because he coached in the McDonald's All-American game, a lot of these guys. But I thought that was some interesting notes there from the draft, just from how things worked out, and we'll see how all of that plays out long term. All right. Again, we did get a Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook suggestion to add to our list. Our list is getting pretty long. I'm about to start the second column here on our Footnotes Summer Project. And again, I thought that was an underachieving group. And if Harden wouldn't have, you know, again, Harden's been messing up in the playoffs since way back when. He was the one that was horrible. If he had gotten it done there, like, they could have made the finals and who knows, maybe won a title back then. Like, that team was good. But he just can't seem to get it done in the postseason. He just can't.
We do have the Glide and the Dream, right?
Yeah, but again,
okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, they made it like I had forgotten, and Jay helped us out, that the Glide wasn't there yet. He was still in Portland the first year that they won the back-to-back. He was just there the second year. Not saying he can't be. Yeah, but it wasn't. They weren't together for more. Because when I think of the Glide of Drexler with the Rockets, if in my mind, I remember when they got Barkley and they had those kind of cartoon character looking jerseys for a while. I think of Glide with those cartoon character looking jerseys, not the traditional just red one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They had these weird jerseys for a few years. They were pretty, but they didn't look like a basketball jersey. It looked like pajamas or something.
How about I throw a Pelicans one for you?
Okay.
Boogie and AD. Boogie in the Brow. I mean, that one was pretty short-lived, but yes. I mean, if obviously the injuries didn't derail it and all of a sudden everything fell apart, it felt like that would have been a really scary front court that teams would have had struggles dealing with if they made it to the playoffs.
Well, it's time for a timeout, but speaking of the Brow, if he plays, why can't that awful franchise be good, at least pretty good next year?
I think it would be more competent. Now, it's going to be weird with, okay, Trey's going to be leading the offense, and you're going to have that quote-unquote 1-2 punch of them running through everything between Young and AD. But then with Alex Sarr and
DeBonza's used to being a ball hog where he came from.
Yeah,
now,
so it's like
he can't change his philosophy, but
I'm wondering how the adjustment's going to go and the development's going to go for these young guys. Is there going to be more of third and fourth option? They're just kind of going to be sitting there like just watching Trae Young ball handle and do work, and then same thing with AD in the paint when he's healthy. So I'm really curious to see how everything is going to work over there in Washington between the established veterans and then these young players, when this is really the first time for everybody working with each other, because Trae played no time in Washington. AD got traded injured to Washington, and they've got multiple first-round picks that have either literally shown you nothing or shown you next to nothing, and haven't played with each other.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see how everything goes down with Washington. It looks better on paper for sure, but I mean, this is going to be a big-time adjustment for all those players.
Man, it's almost like you forget that they exist sometimes. They've been so bad.
Oh, I forget a lot.
Yes.
I have forgotten a lot of times that Washington exists after John Wall left.
Yes.
Even when they had Kristaps for a little while, for like a year or two, and same thing with Russell Westbrook, and they were just having somebody that was like, "Oh, look, come check out this guy play," so they could just like sell some tickets. But other than that, I mean, it still didn't matter because the teams were awful.
And it's a shame because, like I said, with our Footnote Summer Project, probably my favorite non-Lakers NBA team ever, or certainly in the top 2 or 3, are the Bullets of the 70s when they used to play at the Capitol Center, and they had them cool stars and stripe uniforms, and they had really good players, including Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld and Kevin Greavy and Bobby Dandridge. What a great name, and a really underrated player that people don't talk enough about. I like those teams, and now they're just kind of irrelevant, so we'll see if this group can at least make them somewhat relevant. We'll take a timeout and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Lose weight with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
This is Lisa Stofan. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods. I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight.
The only weight loss method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Engineered to kill cravings, emotional eating, and late-night fridge attacks. Get full on half the food so you lose the weight and you keep it off. 10 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever your goal. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com. alexgoen.com.
Acadiana Legal Services Corporation provides free access to legal services. Their work spans across Louisiana. They're committed to helping eligible individuals navigate legal challenges from family law to public benefits. Their team delivers reliable, high-quality representation. Acadiana Legal Services provides comprehensive benefits and a supportive work environment. Join a team that makes a difference in the lives of people. Apply today at la-law.org/careers or careers@la-law.org.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Lafayette Stars and Stripes is back and bigger than ever as America celebrates its 250th anniversary. Join us Saturday, July 4th at Park International in downtown Lafayette for a night of patriotic fun. Gates open at 5 p.m. with live music by Sold Out and Rusty Mattwire and the Zydeco Crush, along with delicious food trucks, family activities, local vendors, and plenty of surprises. Then look to the sky for a spectacular fireworks finale at 9:30 p.m. Free admission presented by Lafayette Utility System, LFT Fiber, and Delta Media.
Do yourself a favor and download the free ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app, powered by Moss Motors BMW for your Android or Apple devices. Download the app by searching ESPN 1037 Lafayette or ESPN 1041 Lake Charles. It's just that easy to take Southwest Louisiana's sports station with you wherever you go.
Welcome back to Footnotes as we wrap up a Wednesday edition of Footnotes. I don't know that we given up. Let's give updated results of our poll question of the day. We talked about it, but I don't think we gave updated results in the second hour.
As of right now, people are saying that the most frustrating rules for a league is the NFL. The NBA has actually about 16% of the votes, and then about 32% have said that actually the MLB is the most frustrating and drives them the most insane.
If you could change one rule in the NBA, what would it be? I mean,
one rule about the NBA.
Do you like, I'm sure you're like all the because years ago you used to be able to, you'd have to take the ball up the court and now you get it way down there. You like that? It increases,
I think,
the excitement of the game for sure.
Yeah. I'd have to think on that. Because for the most part, I don't mind a lot of the rules. I just don't like how it gets officiated.
Right.
I think the one rule, and like they had changed it, and then it seems like they just absolutely went away from it. But the big one for me would be just knowing the intent of a player, not trying to shoot a legit shot, but more of trying to draw a foul.
Yeah.
Knowing the difference and not granting them that. I think them writing a rule in that of, it's hard to do because if you say like an irregular motion of a shot attempt of them just throwing it up, like it kind of comes down to viewer discretion, so it becomes harder. But I wish they would take that away because there's so often a player will just throw the ball up in the most non-human way. And the ball will go somewhere near the basket, and they will grant the player the foul, and then they'll go to the free throw line. And it just totally negates a possession because they saw the player was and this kind of puts it on the players needing to be more defensively disciplined, but at the same time, having a cheap cop out, like you say, with the home runs, being a walk off or an eventual game winner in a sense. To me, them just going for an absolute non-shot that they would have never logistically or logically gone for, and the only reason they're doing it is because they are trying to get to the free throw line, needs to go away.
Yeah, I just think it's how to enforce it, and it's just such a tough game to enforce. And no, it's a fascinating poll question of the day. I just think the actual rules that I think, in my opinion, the correct answer is the NFL rule book. And I think the other two, it's just mainly in baseball, just balls and strikes, just trying to get that right, and they're doing a little bit better at that. The problem with 2, we might need to expand it to 4. Like, I know we're still – I wonder if 5 years from now the ABS system will increase to like 3 or 4 rather than just 2. But I think one thing that it shows is a lot of hitters and even catchers don't really – they get fooled. They get fooled by pitches just like they get fooled by pitchers when they're standing there with a bat in their hand, and that's why they swing and miss at them. You know, like there was some calls again yesterday in the Astros game where there was one where the entire ball was in the box, and yet why would you challenge it if the entire ball is in the box? But they get fooled sometime. All right, y'all have a good day.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason? Moisture. Roaches, termites.